Despite what you've been told your entire life, you actually do need to be talking to strangers more, and it's not as cringe, it's not as hard, and it's not as serious as you're making it out to be. Welcome to part 2 of my series, How to Talk to Strangers, where I give you real life scenarios and tips of how to talk to people in a way that isn't weird, creepy, and invasive. Today, we are going to talk about addressing the elephant in the room. And what I mean by this is you should lean on the context of your situation, like what's going on actually around you, to inform your options for starting a conversation. I mean, the easiest way to illustrate this is if there was an actual elephant in the room and you would go, oh my God, look, there's an elephant in the room. What a good opener. I don't think you are going to find yourself in a situation with an actual elephant in the room. But some situations that you might find yourself in are like, you're walking on the street or in the subway and you see a street performer. You are watching a third-party actor. You're essentially seeing a Karen like throw a tantrum in your surroundings. And like, I'm not going to tell you to engage with the Karen, but I'm telling you there's opportunity for connection in the people around you. Or maybe there's just like a long line where you're at and you're addressing that. Let's take the Karen example, because I feel like we've all been there before, where you're like on a plane or you're at a restaurant and someone's like having a moment. Maybe it's like a couple that's fighting, or maybe it's someone that's being awful, and you're not trying to engage because who willingly puts themselves in that environment? But you make eye contact with someone across the way and you go, boom, you have that moment where then maybe if you're at a bar and you're next to each other at the bar later that night, you've created that opportunity to be like, dude, what was that? And that's the opening that you need to seek out. I think this can be done really well with like acquaintances or friends of friends, or like people that you know in a loose professional context, because the elephant in the room isn't then something else. The elephant is the fact that you guys know who each other are. You can be like, hey, I feel like I see you all the time. Or it can be like, I know we've met 100 times before and I don't think we've ever actually introduced ourselves. That's the elephant that then you can address to kind of take that conversation from intro, from loose connection, into something else. It's up to the other person how they're going to respond to it, but you've done the first step. Other example I gave with the long line, I want to give a disclaimer, because starting a conversation from a negative place oftentimes can make people think some type of way about you. They might be like, I don't want to engage with that. Opening with a complaint can really work, especially if you're in like the Northeast. But honestly, I don't think it's a great idea. Now, where it can be good and where it's worked for me, like the other day I was at a bar and like I couldn't make my way through. It was like swimming upstream, and I made eye contact with a very cute man across the way. And I went, oh, and he then came up to me, we started chatting, and it worked out. And so that's how like addressing the elephant in the room could then work in a bar setting. This is one of the easiest ways to start a conversation that runs almost zero risk.